Are you a successful professional earning great money in corporate, but feeling completely trapped and wondering how you'll ever escape without destroying everything that you've built? Well, I've worked with hundreds of senior professionals, and before they came to me, they were all making the same three critical mistakes that were keeping them stuck for years longer than necessary. If you ignore these, you'll risk staying trapped in golden handcuffs while your ambition slowly dies. So today, I'm going to show you how to move from feeling trapped to having a clear exit strategy so you can build your business you've been dreaming about while preserving your income, credibility, and professional relationships. So when I first started thinking about leaving my partner role at KPMG, I fell into the same trap as a lot of people. I kept telling myself I just needed to find the perfect idea, the business model that would immediately replace my income and give me total certainty. I'd sketch out scenarios in my head, run through endless what-ifs, and convince myself that once I spotted the right opportunity, I could make a clean break. But months turned into years, and I was still in the same role. On the outside, everything looked great. But inside, I was getting more and more frustrated because deep down, I knew I wasn't moving forward. And it finally clicked when I looked at other professionals who'd successfully made the type of transition I was after. They hadn't found some magical business idea that guaranteed success, but they built their exit like a bridge, step by step, while they still had some stability. And that's when I realized people don't escape corporate by waiting for the perfect opportunity. They escape it by creating strategic ones. And a strategic exit isn't about torching the bridge behind you. It's about building the next one in front of you. Most professionals make the mistake of trying to jump the gap with not much of a plan, not much of structure, and just a bit of hope. But if you build as you go, step by step, you'll reach the other side with your reputation, your income, and your confidence intact. Because the truth is, leaving corporate requires a lot of structure. It's not about gambling everything that you've built. It's about being systematic in how you create your transition. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through my 3-step strategic exit framework that I've used with dozens of professionals to move from corporate into successful solo businesses without sacrificing financial security, credibility, or relationships along the way. So the first step is to audit your corporate capital. So about 2 years before I left my previous career, I was sitting in a partner meeting where we were discussing succession planning, and I had a bit of a moment of panic. I started thinking, what am I actually worth outside of this building? Is everything I've achieved just because of the KPMG brand? I was looking around the room at these incredibly capable partners, and I was genuinely wondering if any of us could recreate our successes elsewhere. So that night, I went home and I did something that changed everything. I wrote down every major success I'd had in the last few years at work. And instead of focusing on the KPMG context, I focused on what skills, relationships, and insights made those wins possible. And what I discovered shocked me. So for example, the client who accepted a 40% fee increase, they did so because of the trust that I'd personally built with their board, which had nothing to do with the KPMG logo. The management team I'd helped turn around, they succeeded because of my people-centered approach to decision-making under pressure, which I could use anywhere, and how a client had specifically requested me for a big piece of work because of how I'd helped them navigate a big transaction. Again, nothing to do with KPMG's reputation, everything to do with my personal methodology and track record. And that's when I realized that most professionals completely underestimate their portable assets and overestimate their corporate dependencies. We think our value is so tied to the corporate brand, but actually our clients or our customers or the other people that we're working with are there for our personal expertise, our relationships, and our proven approaches. So here's exactly what you need to do. Map out 4 categories: your transferable skills, your professional network, your industry credibility, and any proprietary knowledge or methodologies that you've got. But focus on what energizes you and what clients would pay for directly, not just the things that you're good at. The reason this works is that your expertise, your relationships, and track record, they're yours. They come with you, and you've got more value than you think. It's just wrapped in somebody else's brand. Don't assume that your value is tied to your job title or company brand like I initially did. And then look at your last 3 major wins or achievements. What skills, relationships, or insights made those possible? Those are your portable assets. Ask yourself, what would a client pay me directly for that I'm currently delivering through my corporate role? And that becomes the foundation of your solo business. Step 2 then is all about building your bridge. Once I realized I had real portable value beyond my partner title, my next fear was financial. I had a good six-figure income, but I had a mortgage and responsibilities, and walking away without a plan felt reckless. So instead of dreaming up the perfect business plan, I built a bridge. And for me, that meant two things. First, a financial runway. I set aside enough savings to give myself 2 years of breathing space. And that meant I could focus on building my coaching business without the constant fear of money running out. The second thing was a proof of concept. So while still at KPMG, I tested the waters quietly, mentoring colleagues, running development sessions, coaching people informally. And each conversation showed me that this was not just something that I enjoyed, it was something that I was really good at and that people really valued. And that gave me the confidence and the evidence I needed. So by the time I left, I wasn't jumping off a cliff. I was stepping onto a bridge I'd already built. So here's exactly how you can do this. Decide how much financial runway you need to feel secure. For me, it was 2 years, but for you, it might be 6 or maybe 12 months. I think I wanted a relatively long period of time because I spent so long, 22 years, at KPMG, so I wasn't used to jumping around much in my career. Then start testing your future business in small, safe ways while you're still in corporate. Have conversations, run pilots, help people. Focus less on the perfect model and more about proving that people value what you do. And the reason this works is that financial fear is the biggest reason people stay trapped. So when you reduce that fear by having some money that you're prepared to invest in getting your business going, and by proving your concept, you shift from what if this fails to what if this actually works? But don't make the mistake that I almost made, which is waiting until you've got everything figured out, because you're never going to have the perfect plan. What matters is building enough security to reduce the fear and enough evidence to build your confidence. That's your bridge. Step 3 is all about executing your plan, which is harder than you think. I had these things falling into place, building my financial cushion, testing my proposition, but I couldn't quite pull the trigger on leaving. And then the client asked me to join a major project team, a commitment that would have tied me in for a good few more years. And on paper, it was really attractive. But in that moment, I realized a problem with my plan. If I kept waiting for the right time, I'd just keep saying yes to the next thing, and I'd never leave. So that request from that client crystallized it for me. Timing an exit isn't about waiting for the perfect conditions. It's about recognizing when you've done enough groundwork and then making a clean, deliberate decision to move forward. And here's the key. How you leave is just as important as when you leave. A professional, well-timed exit keeps doors open, preserves your reputation, and often turns your corporate network into your business network. So here's what I want you to do. Plan your exit around milestones, not emotions. Finish a major project, reach a financial runway you're comfortable with, prove your concept with a first client. And then once those conditions are met, choose a natural breakpoint and communicate your decision professionally. This works because it avoids both extremes, leaving in frustration or waiting endlessly. It gives you a clear trigger to act while ensuring you exit with your reputation intact. A common mistake is either burning out and resigning in frustration or constantly pushing the decision back for just one more year. Both approaches damage your chances of success. So here's the action step. Write down your personal exit conditions. Decide what milestones you need to hit and what a professional handover would look like for you. And that way, when your moment comes, like that request from a client did for me, you'll know it's your time to walk across the bridge that you've built. I know this might feel overwhelming right now. You've built an impressive career, you're earning good money, and the idea of walking away from all that security can feel terrifying. But here's what I want you to understand. You're not actually trapped. You just haven't built your exit strategy yet. The corporate world taught us to climb ladders, to follow processes and wait for permission. But building your own path requires a completely different mindset. It requires you to see yourself as the CEO of your own career, not just an employee searching for that next promotion. When I was sitting in those partner meetings, feeling stuck despite all my success, I thought I only had two choices: stay safe or take a massive risk. But there is a third option that most professionals never consider, which is building the strategic bridge to the career you actually want. And you have more control than you think. You have more value than you realize, and you have more options than you've ever explored. The professionals who successfully make this transition aren't fearless. They're strategic. They're the ones who stop waiting for perfect conditions and start building towards better ones. Your corporate experience isn't something to escape from. It's the foundation you're going to build your freedom on. every skill you developed, every relationship you built, every challenge you've overcome. That's all portable capital that comes with you. So the question isn't whether you can do this. The question is, how much longer are you willing to postpone the career you actually want? And if you want some help with that, click the link in the description below. So if you want to transition from feeling trapped in corporate to building a successful solo business, start with this strategic exit framework I've just shown you. But escaping corporate won't work unless you can overcome the mindset blocks that keep high achievers stuck in the first place. So watch this video next, where I break down the 5 smart career moves that keep professionals stuck. Because even with a perfect exit strategy, these psychological patterns will sabotage your transition every time.